Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, the 22nd of February, and it's been a while since we've been together because last week was President's Day, and I do not do trainings on days that generally people are off work. Because you generally are spending time with families, hopefully going to like barbecues or whatever. I know it's a little different right now because of COVID, but things are starting to open up. And so people are starting to socialize a little bit more. So those days I like to give you an opportunity to work your business by socializing with friends, having people over, but most of all, have time with your family. So that's why I never do Monday trainings on any major holiday. So I hope you were able to spend some good time with your family and maybe get some business opportunities developed. I know that whenever I go to any type of a social, whether it's just a barbecue or football game or whatever, I always go with the mindset of it's going to be a Scentsy party. And the reason why is because anywhere that there is a human being with breathing pulses, that means that they can smell our products, they can see our products, and they can use our products. So that's the way my mindset always is. And I hope that you guys are looking at your business that way too, especially if you want to grow your business. Okay, so if you haven't been on our calls in a while, you may have listened to the recordings. Hopefully you do. We now, this year is, we focus on the all consultant calls. And the reason why is because as a leader, when you're doing trainings, a lot of the time we kind of get stumped like, what do I talk about? I've done it all. I've talked about it all. I've been doing this almost 10 years. So I literally have hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel, which I hope you guys are subscribed to. So sometimes I'm just like, I've talked about everything possible in Scentsy. So instead of hearing me all the time talk about the same thing in my theories, I really want to encourage not reinventing the wheel and utilizing the training that's already done for us with Scentsy. And so the all consultant training calls are on Tuesdays. So there's one tomorrow, but we always focus on the one prior. So last Tuesday, which was the 19th, I believe, and it was about the bacon opportunity. And I was just watching it, and hopefully, Janice, maybe you caught it, but I honestly cannot remember for the life of me what that acronym means. I know it's business for B. Did you write it down? Because I missed it, and I'm like,
I actually did not get to watch it at all because I
oh,
usually watch it the day of, and then
I
of
know me
course
too.
today we had a release, and
Oh
and then I
yeah.
had a meeting, so I haven't been able to watch it. So
That's okay. No, I know that you're like me because I know you watch it right before, and I barely watched it before this meeting. So that's totally fine. Honestly, it's something that I'm kind of mad at myself because I've done these meetings before and I just cannot for the life of me remember what the acronym means. So that's fine. We will figure it out. I'll probably post it in the post of this recording just so you guys know what it means. But basically, what it is a meeting that it's a business opportunity meeting. Okay. You are inviting people, anybody that's ever been interested or you may think should be interested in becoming a Scentsy consultant. And so, one thing that is good that this is happening, and I'm glad that I'm following this structure, is because starting next month, I'm going to be having a monthly business opportunity Zoom call that all of you can just invite people that are interested or you think would be a good consultant. And so you don't feel like you're trying to figure out the recruiting on your own. One of the best things that I've seen throughout the years is that when people know that they're going to have support and it's not just going to just be them figuring it out or even just them and their sponsor, they tend to feel a little bit more confident with starting something they have no idea what they're doing. Um, Especially if you're brand new to Scentsy or one of your team members are brand new, we want to always encourage them to start recruiting immediately. And one of the biggest things that I hear from people is that I'm new, how can I help somebody else? And what I say is that you just worked, you learn together. Okay. When I first joined, I literally sponsored my first person not even a week into my business, and she was my best friend. And I was telling her, guess what? All I did was call her to tell her about what I was doing. And I saw a little paws warmer in the catalog. It had little handprints of paws for dogs. And she's a big dog fan. Like her babies are her fur babies. So it made me think of her. And so I called her and I said, hey, check out my website. I just started this, go to this page. And she kind of followed me. And I was like, look at that warmer. It totally makes me think of you. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love it. Well, just because I shared with her what I was doing, thought of her, and directed her to something that she connected with, while we were on the phone, you guys, she enrolled in becoming a Scentsy consultant. She goes, how many people are on your team? And I was like, I just joined last week. What are you talking about? She's like, well, I just joined. And so it can be sometimes that simple. However, the majority of the time, it does take a little bit more than that. But that's why we want to start with our warm market, our friends, our family, people that we already have relationships with, because people do business with people they know, trust, and like. Okay. So it takes time to get to know them, or them to get to know you, for them to like you, and then also trust you that you're actually going to take care of them as a consultant. And then on top of that, take care of them as a sponsor, like, take you under their wing, or take them under your wing and support them with the business. So, yes,
Yes.
yes.
I looked it up. It's Become a Consultant Opportunity Night.
Oh my gosh, so simple. And I totally like brain farted it. Thank you so much.
I have to look it up. Okay.
I was so like, why can I not remember it? So I'm going to write it down just so I don't forget.
Become a Consultant Opportunity Night.
Okay. Yeah, so simple, right? Opportunity. Now, and there's even one that's bacon taco night, which is the become a consultant opportunity night. And then it's taco is, oh man, I don't even remember that one anymore. So I'll have to figure out what that acronym is. But it's just a fun way to get people involved. Now, when you watch the video, they give a lot of ideas. They talk about, when you're doing this Zoom or whatever. I usually do Zoom. Some people do it on Facebook, like in a group, and they do like lives. I personally want people to have an opportunity to talk to me. Now, one thing that Sarah Walker talked about that was doing the trainer, she talked about how they need to hear your voice. And if you guys have been with me long enough, you know that I talk about that a lot, that they need to hear the sound of your voice, the smile on your face, the energy that you have, the excitement, because if it's just like a text message or just an email, it's kind of like they can disconnect themselves on an emotional level to you. And this, when you're joining a business, this type of company, especially our company, especially, is very family oriented. That's why we call it Scentsy Family Reunion. That's why we call each other Scentsy sisters and brothers, because we're very much about diving in, lifting people up, helping others get to grow their businesses, achieve their goals. We're not about competition. In reality, we're all competition technically, because we all sell the same product and we all, doing the same thing. But when the idea and the culture of Scentsy, which this past Thursday, if you guys listen to the recording, I think it was this past Thursday for Thursday night shift, they talked about the Scentsy culture, Scentsy spirit. And it's unlike any other company out there. There's people in our entire organization and Angels of Light group that have come from all different types of direct sales companies. And every single one of them, if you ask them, they will tell you that Scentsy is unlike any other direct sales company. The culture, we all know the product is top of the line, unlike anything else, but the culture of the company is, and that's why there's room for everybody to be successful. Okay. And so when we're talking about the business opportunity, what's really going to kind of get under their skin and pull at the heartstrings is when we're able to share that type of culture, that you're about to gain an entire family of people that are on your side, that are rooting for you, that want your success. want you to achieve whatever goals you have, whether it's this big or the size of the moon, and that's usually one of their biggest fears is, am I going to have to figure this out all by myself? Now, one of the quotes that we say with Scentsy as sponsors, which I hope that you're all using when you're bringing people on, is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So, because we can't do it for them, right? They're their own bosses. We're not their supervisors. We're not their managers. We're not their whatever. They're the boss, but they have an entire culture and family that's here to support them. So, like for me, you guys, obviously I've been in the business longer than anybody else. Except for there's like one consultant that came back and she started in 2010. So she's even been in it longer than I am. But for the majority of you, I've been in it longer. And so I may have extra experiences and some feedback for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that what has happened in my business is going to happen in yours, whether it's good or bad, right? I may have had some yucky situations that I wouldn't wish upon anybody. So I'm not going to sit there and say, this is what's going to happen to you, because it may not happen to you in your business, right? So that's what we are here for, is to just support their business, their journey as it happens. Okay. And so that's what we want to be talking about when we're doing these opportunity nights. Now I always encourage people to do your own, especially when you're building a team and you have a team, you can do one and invite all your team members to that same Zoom. So again, they're not doing it by themselves. And then the people that are prospects, they have different views of from different consultants of their experiences, because I may look at the business one way and somebody else looks at another way, and so that may be more attractive to the person that's watching. Maybe they are strictly looking to just make it a hobby and they don't want anything bigger than that, anything more than that. And so when somebody that's saying, this is just my hobby and I love it and it's something to give me something to do, I have people to talk to, I don't really talk a lot of people in my day job, whatever that may be, it gives them all walks of life to know that they will fit in, because there's no cookie cutter Scentsy consultant. They don't look a certain way, they don't act a certain way, they're not a certain height, certain dress size, nothing. We're all over the map. We're everybody, male, female, young, older, whatever. So one thing that I wanted to point out as well is, well, first of all, the two that are on live, Danielle and Jolene, did you watch the training? I'm just curious if you had a chance to watch it, because if there's anything that you want to share, I'd love for you to share. If you didn't have a chance, I'll continue. But I don't want to be the only one talking if you guys have some things to contribute. If you can just unmute yourselves and just say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. And then we can just move on.
No, I didn't have a chance. I actually just got back into town from my granddaughter being born.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yay.
So I'm catching up on everything.
Oh, yay. Do you have pictures on Facebook?
I do. Yes. I do have some, so they should be up there.
Okay, good. I'll have to stalk. I love babies. I need to see it.
Oh, yes.
A boy or a girl?
Little girl.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Oh,
thank you.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for getting on. Okay, and then Jolene, were you able to listen?
No, I have not. I've been working 65, 70-hour weeks with all these snowstorms coming across the United States.
Bless your heart. Oh my gosh.
So if I'm not working, I'm sleeping here lately. So no,
gosh.
I haven't had it. That's why I finally was like, oh my gosh, I actually have a chance to get on tonight. So that's why I've jumped on, because I've been working literally like nonstop.
Oh, I'm so glad you jumped on. Well, stay safe, and with all the snowstorms. I know my heart goes out to everybody in the East Coast, all the stuff that's happening. I hope everybody's safe. We love you guys, and just keep us posted. I hope everybody stays, like I said, safe. And I totally understand. I don't want you guys to ever think I'm calling you out or anything. Like, did you watch that? Like, I'm not your mom. I'm not your boss. I just like people to have a chance to share if you do have something to share. Okay, so I will continue. So one thing that I told you that I'm a big advocate for is them hearing your voice. I'm going to get back to where I started. So when we're inviting people, which you're going to get emails, so check your emails, guys. Coming from jess@jessfragrance.com. I sent, so just to make sure you're getting my emails, I would just like to throw it out there. If you're not getting my emails, like I sent an email like 15 minutes before this, just to kind of remind everybody to jump on. So if you didn't get that, then definitely check your spam. But I'm going to be sending an invitation. I'm going to be posting as at an event in the group pages that we're going to have one a month. And I haven't decided what week it's going to be yet, because I have some other ones that I'm going to be adding as well. So I kind of have to make sure I'm able to commit to all of those, because I'm going to be starting a new consultant training every week that the other directors in our group are going to be helping me with. But I don't want that to coincide, to cross borders or whatever you want to say, with that one. So it's going to be once a month, and you guys will know that whenever you have a prospect, somebody that you think would be great, or they said they're thinking about it, but they're scared, they don't know, they're hesitant. Those are the people you want to get on these calls. And so you'll always know, all right, the, first Friday of the month or whatever, I'll tell you what that's going to be. I just haven't decided yet. You'll always know that you can send them to that Zoom. I will suggest for you to be on with them, because you're their person. You're their safety net. You're the one that has the relationship, and you don't want them to feel like they're being thrown into a bunch of wolves. I mean, even though they're not, we all know that we're just a big family, but they don't know that yet. So they want their person to kind of, lock arms with them. So make sure that if you're going to send people to the B.A.C.O.N night, that you're able to attend as well. Or if you have a relationship with them, you say, hey, I'm not able to join on live, but I really, please join in. You can keep your camera off. You don't have to say anything if you don't have any questions, but watch this, and then you and I can talk about it later. It will be recorded. So if somebody doesn't want to be on live, they can join the last recorded call or whatever. So that's going to be available to everybody. But what I was going to say is, when you're inviting these people, it's so important for them to hear your voice. So nowadays we have so much technology. We have voice texting, like not the one that writes it for you, but the one that you can actually, iPhone has that. I don't know if Android does. So I'm sorry if Android doesn't have that feature, but I know iPhones do. And you could click the voice message, and you can literally talk to them and say like, hey, Sally, oh my gosh, our group is having a business opportunity night on Friday. I know that you're kind of on the border of wanting to start, but you have some concerns. I would love if you join this. This would be a great opportunity to kind of be a fly on the wall and just kind of listen what's available to you. Do you hear that excitement in my voice? But you wouldn't be able to duplicate that. Even if you put all the exclamation points and all that, texting can be interpreted as yelling at them. And I know you're like, why would I yell at them? But some people, they don't know what context you're is that the word, context? Yeah, that you're delivering it in. So you want to be, that's why the voice is so important. We also have voice Facebook messaging that you can, if you don't have an iPhone and Android doesn't, you can go on Facebook and message them. It's only a minute long. But that was less than a minute. You could just throw it out there and then send the link on the Facebook messages. But any way that or if you can talk to them, I always think one-on-one, face-to-face, or on the phone, voice to voice is going to be the best situation. So I just want to make sure that we're still on here on Facebook. Yes, we are. Okay. All right. So I also, one thing they said, who should I invite to this Become a Consultant Opportunity Night, which is B.A.C.O.N night? Hosts, anybody that hosts for you is one of your best prospects, because they love the product. They already buy it. They already know people that buy it because they're a host, right? and they may still have some reservations about actually being the consultant. Now, one thing that we have a big advantage of right now, guys, is the fact that you could use it to your advantage, but I also want to caution you to not use it as an actual like way to get people going, because the way their mindset is when they start is usually, I'm not going to say always, usually the way their mindset's going to stay for a while unless something changes in their life. Now, what I mean by that is right now people can join and only put one order of $200 in 1 month in a 12-month basis. I know Nadia and I were just talking about this the other day. And so we don't want that to be your hook of like, oh, just join. You only have to put an order in once a year. That's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to do anything for them. Okay. You're not going to, if you have a bunch of people thinking all I have to do is one order in a year, you're not going to be growing your business. Okay. Now, if you feel like you've talked to them and they have a lot of reasons why they want to join, but they're still hesitant, asking the right questions is going to help you figure out if their fear is, am I going to be able to, sell every single month? That's what most people's fears are. And so we could talk to them about, there is a grace period. You don't have to be active every month. However, if you want to make money every month, you obviously have to sell every month. So that's when you and the person has to kind of dig deep and figure out, what do I want? We always start when somebody joins is, what is your why? Why do you want to do this? And it'll change. It can change from the day they joined or the day that you talk to them about possibly joining to next week could be a totally different reason, because their lives can change in the drop of a hat, right? They may lose their job the day after they told you that they're just fine, right? So that's why we have to always be asking questions about what's going on in their life, where, how can Scentsy add value to their life? And that's why these opportunity nights are going to be so helpful, because you or me, whoever's on, can share little pieces of why they stick with Scentsy, why they joined, why they are still here. And even when things are rough and maybe they're having a bad sales month or whatever, things are rough in their personal life, how does Scentsy add value and help you get through a rough patch? So like a lot of you guys know that I had a really rough patch a few years ago. And Scentsy was really the only thing that kind of was my lifeline, staying out of the dark. It's because everybody's upbeat and Scentsy's a happy place. Scentsy has happy products, and seeing everybody else achieving goals, it's really hard to stay in a dark, ugly place when everybody around you is happy and trying to pour happiness on you, right? So something like that, I always like to share. Director Nina Mancuri, when she started, she shares, so I'm able to share this with you guys, she was going through postpartum depression. And I didn't know, and she didn't know, that Scentsy was going to be a part of her being pulled out of postpartum depression, because it gave her something to like hang on to, and it helped her focus on growing her mindset, kind of learning where she was struggling in her personal life. And it kind of gave her a reason to get up every day and to push herself. And before she knew it, she realized that, like, wow, I have a lot less dark days than I have bright days. And it has to do with Scentsy. And so now that is her like poster that she shares with people of like, Scentsy can literally help you get out of depression. I know people that it helped them through, and we actually have somebody in our team. I'm not going to call her out. She can share if she wants, but we know somebody that Scentsy has helped them through like cancer and really dark places. I've had somebody, they've lost their spouse during while they've been a Scentsy consultant, and that grief has helped them with, the Scentsy relationships and family has helped them through the grief of their spouse. So many different stories. There's this one story that it blew my mind, so I have to share this with you. When Scentsy has leadership retreats every year for directors and above, and you can also, sometimes they have the opportunity for you to earn it, even if you're not a director yet. You can earn the chance to go to leadership. And we were all, it was a cruise that year. And so we all crowded inside this big theater where they did like plays and stuff. And there were the newest directors on stage. And so we were all clapping and they were introducing and da-da-da-da. And this one lady, I still get chills when I tell this. She actually was a former consultant, okay? And after she stopped selling Scentsy, she got in a really bad car accident and she actually got amnesia. I'm literally gonna probably start crying just telling the story. So she got amnesia. She didn't even remember her husband's name, her children, nothing, okay? So she was in a pretty rough place. Like she was just living in this house of people that I guess I'm married to this guy and I guess those are my kids. That was her life for a little while. And then with therapy and, you know, help from her doctors, she started to kind of acclimate to her new world. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing. So she finally went back to work and apparently, thank goodness, she wasn't like a, you know, heart surgeon or anything. So she wouldn't have been able to remember how to do that. But it was something that she was able to do a desk job. They retaught her how to do things. And one day she walked into her office and she smelled something. Guess what, guys? It was Scentsy, and it brought back a memory that she was a Scentsy consultant. And it drew her to that office and she just was in tears. Like, why do I feel so like I remember something's familiar? And so long story short, that was the first memory she had of her life. And because of that, she rejoined Scentsy, not remembering anything else, but it gave her a familiarity. And she came back that same year. She literally promoted a director in that same year. And she was telling the story on stage. And that within the day that she joined and that whole year from when she was on the cruise with us, she had developed and remembered a lot of huge parts of her lives, which she had like memories of her and her husband, memories of her kids. And she said on stage, like, there's still a lot of my life I don't remember, but I know I'm in the right family. I know that's my husband. And he stood up and everybody's like, oh my gosh, crying, you know, and you guys all know that Scentsy, right? That just Scentsy does amazing things for people if they stay connected. Because, you know, those of us that do stay connected, it's like almost like we don't understand how people can't like love Scentsy and want to be a part of everything, because we're intentionally trying to grow ourselves. We're intentionally trying to connect. We're intentionally trying to find happiness. But when we don't get on calls and we stay separated, all the stuff that goes on in our regular world, which is usually tough, right? Life's tough. It knocks you down a little harder because you don't have anything to lean on and to hold on to and know that somebody's fighting in your corner for you. So those are stories that your prospective team members need to hear, because that they need to have an emotional attachment. Now, they may not emotionally attach. Like I was crying, the whole room was crying, but this person, if on one of your prospects, may not cry. They may be like, oh, I guess that's cool, I don't care. But there may be somebody else's story that attracts, connects with them. So I'm going to post, if you've been around with me long enough, I've done this before, but it's called knowing your shapes. And so there's going to be people that they just want the bottom line. They don't care about the fluff about, oh, you know, Scentsy family. They can care less. They're like, how much am I going to make? What do I got to do? And when am I going to get my money? That's all they care about. So we need to know who we're talking to. And so it's so important for us to do our homework and learn the different behaviors that people have. When you really start diving in and you really start growing your team, you're going to really see how many different personalities there really are out there. Because we tend to kind of attract and be drawn to people that are kind of similar to you. We have the same interests, we kind of have the same background, whatever. Those are the people that you're going to initially start recruiting, because that's why you have them in your life, because they're generally, there's similarities, there's connections, okay? But you also want to be able to, I hate the word recruit, but, sponsor people that just because they don't have the same life as you or the interest, you also want to be able to give that opportunity to them. So we need to be educated on what is their why, what's their focus, what type of talk do you need to talk to them about. Again, you're not going to talk to them about the sad story about the lady losing her memory to somebody that all they care about is the bottom line, right? And you also don't want to talk to the person that does want the fluff and the sad stories and the happy stories. You don't want to talk to them about, you can make $100,000 in a month. They'll be like, yeah, right. That's like not logical to me. So that doesn't do anything for me. Because here's the thing. People don't get excited over something that they don't believe yet. And it's very hard for people that have even been in Scentsy for years to really grasp the concept that you can make $100,000 in a year. I mean, in a month in this business, or more. And so that money may not be their drive. There's people that need money, very much so. They barely put food on the table. They barely pay their gas bill. They have to choose what credit card they're going to pay every month. Oh, I'll forget about this one and I'll pay this one this month and I'll catch up on that one later. They need the money, but that doesn't inspire them. Does that make sense? I've told you guys before, Mel Robbins, she talks about the F word. People think they're just fine. And fine is, my lights are on, the water's running, I got gas in my car, and that's all they're looking for in life. They're like, I'm fine. But the people that want to be more than fine, they want a savings account. They want to contribute financially to, donate money to the poor, or they just want to have more resources. Those are the people that we need to talk financial opportunity to, right? But the only way you're going to know who you're talking to is getting to know what your shape is, and then really learning the different shapes, because you'll be able to spot them like that. Like, oh gosh, that's such a swiggle right there. You'll say it to your head. You don't want to say, hi, you're a swiggle, right? They'll be like, what does that mean? But okay, so who are the people that you should be inviting to this meeting? Like I said, your hosts, because they're already bought into the idea of the product and sharing it with their friends and family, right? Now we just have to introduce the opportunity to them of them being the resource for their friends and family to get the Scentsy. So again, they may not be interested in financial, but they may see the understanding of, oh yeah, it probably is more simple for me just to order it for them, right? They want to be a resource for their friends and family. And then the money that adds up in their pay portal might be nice, oh, I'll get my hair done or something, whatever. Frequent buyers. So when you see somebody that is literally buying from you every month or every couple weeks or even every 3 months, that is somebody you at least want to give the opportunity to. Here's the thing, guys. The worst thing that can happen in your business is somebody coming to you and saying, why did you never offer the opportunity to me? Because somebody else told me that I could make money, told me that I could meet a lot of cool people and go on trips and, but you never shared that with me. So I joined her team. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you know my story. I was that person. I was buying from somebody for over a year. She never gave me that opportunity. She knew I was hurting bad financially and never said, hey, you know what? This is kind of a good thing. I'm making some extra money. Maybe you should do this. Instead of me, me taking your money for your bars every month, why don't you save up a couple months and then buy your starter kit? But I'm not going to blame her because she may have not been educated on that aspect. That's why it's so important for me to try, because you guys have to show up, right? To teach you how important it is to make that a part of your business, that you do your job when they know they can join, they can host, they can buy, they can join the Scentsy Club, or they can do all of them. But they just need to know what's available. It's okay if they say no, because usually it is no for now. But if they one day go like, wait a minute, my sponsor never told me about that. She's going on a Disney trip with her family. What? How did she do that? Well, I want to go to Disney World. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's something that you want to think about. It's almost like it's your duty as a business owner to do your job and share that it's available. The only reason why people don't share, and this is just statistics, guys, this isn't Jess, is because their fear of losing their best customer, losing their best host, or well, customer and host basically go inside. Usually club members are probably, most likely they're your team, your club members or your host generally. If they're not, we need to talk about why, right? If they, and if you, I mean, meaning if you haven't already talked to them about the business opportunity, if they haven't joined Scentsy Club, but they're buying from you all the time, you may need more education on Scentsy Club on how to share that with them. So we live in a time right now currently that people have lost like a good portion of their hours in like, you know, hourly jobs, like restaurant, what are they called? Waitresses and waiters. They're only, it's opening up, but a lot of people are making up for all the money they've lost this past year. So the mindset that we all should have is, I have a business and I have an opportunity to share. You don't have control over how they receive your opportunity or what they do with it, even when they join, but you do have a responsibility to make sure that if you find out that somebody, you know, client, friend, whatever, associate, acquaintance, whatever, is struggling with loss of income, you have an answer to them. You have an opportunity for them. And so if we're not offering it, then how are we supposed to know, and how are they supposed to know if Scentsy can answer that problem? Does that make sense? Now, the reason why I'm going to probably be doing this on a Thursday night is because people tend to show up to things like parties. Thursdays have always been the most popular party night in the home, Facebook, whatever, because it's not the weekend, but it's close enough to Friday that if they stay up a little late for 30 minutes to watch your little spiel on Zoom, they're okay because the next day's Friday and then they have the weekend. The reason why, I mean, weekends work for some people, but some people don't want to give up their weekend to do anything but be with their family. And that's me. And a lot of us, right? So we have to try to find a day that would be accommodating, that they're not missing out too much, they're not staying up too late, and they're not giving up their weekends for us. Now, make it an option if you're doing your own, like if you just can't do Thursday nights for parties or for business opportunity nights, you know, obviously it has to be something that works with your schedule because you're the one doing it. Now, again, in the future, I've made a decision that I'm going to be doing one a month for our entire group. So if you want till the end of time, just bring them onto our Zoom, our group Zoom for a B.A.C.O.O.N night. That is absolutely fine. But as you grow your business, become like a director and above, you're going to most likely want to, do your own for your team because you have a big enough team to do it and they can help you with it. It's going to be about 30 minutes now. And that's why I'm going to probably, and this is what I do with my parties, guys, everything kind of works as a structure, as a strategy. So each opportunity night once a month, I'm going to have everybody share who invited them. What is their reasoning? What are their, are they really considering Scentsy? Is there concerns they have? How did they meet their consultant? Things like that. That's the same thing I do when at a home party. Or a Zoom online party is, how do you know your host? Why are you here? Do you know what Scentsy is? And, so I want to know a little bit about our audience, because then I know what type of, what kind of stories I can share, because I have 10 years of stories of tons of people that I've learned from, right? Because I've been on training calls for 10 years. So I've met different Scentsy consultants. So I'm going to be sharing different types of stories. So every month will probably be different depending on who's on. And there's going to be months that nobody shows up. So I'm just going to basically talk to myself and record it and share what's I feel needs to be shared. But when there's somebody on live, I'll be able to literally say, like, is there any specific concerns that might be keeping you hesitant about joining? And if they're serious, but there's something that they need to get answered, they're gonna ask and they're gonna share. So that's what that's gonna be about. Most people that say no, you guys, it's no for now. It's because they don't have enough information. So even when they join a Zoom bacon night and they still don't join, it's because most likely they didn't get the questions that they have answered, not because we weren't offering them to be answered, but they didn't know they had those questions. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, more than often, most people don't know what their hesitations are. It's pushed down by fear of something that they don't even know. And it's usually has nothing to do with Scentsy or the way Scentsy works or how much they're gonna make or what their commitment level is. It's usually something personal that's holding them back. And so it may take a while for you to build that relationship and kind of dig it, not dig like intrusively, but dig and really kind of get to know this person and see, you may be able to spot what their hesitation is over time. They may say something that makes you go, oh, they may say, yeah, I'm just out of nowhere. They'll be like, yeah, I'm just too shy. I'm not good with people. And be like, oh, is that what holds you back from becoming a Scentsy consultant? And they'll be like, well, yeah, I can't talk to anybody, and then you can talk to them about that. Okay. So there are some tools that Sarah shared on this call. So I'm actually going to, I have the slide up, but I think I want to also pull it up on with you guys. I'm going to just show you this so far. So in the actual, when you go to the training, I want to make sure I show everybody how to find this, because maybe you didn't watch it because you don't know how to find it. So let's start there. So I'm going to close this. Actually, I'm going to take my sharing button off. Okay, I did. I'm going to go back to where I found it because I want you guys to see exactly how I find this. All right, hold on. Okay, so you're going to first go to the dashboard and then go straight to Scentsy Success. Okay, instead of most people will go straight to training. That's why they have an issue with finding this. So you'll want to go to Scentsy Success, and then you're going to do a filter. So you're going to go to training, and then you go to lessons. Now that's confusing. We've talked to home office about that. They're going to try to fix that because we wouldn't know that that's what you're supposed to click. To me, I would click video because it's a video, right? But it's actually under lessons, and you're going to click apply. Now I wanted to talk to you guys about this World Tour. If you registered, all of the lessons are up now. So you can go back, and Sarah Walker actually referred to one of the trainings that one of the people did on the bacon night. So you can find that in here and go back to it. Now it's each month, it's going to say lesson, and it's going to say the month. And then so you're going to click on that. And then every Tuesday is going to be listed. Now this was it was the 16th. I said the 19th. Sorry, guys. So we're going to click on there. And then this is the video. Now the presentation slides are what I just had up. So you can actually see what she shares. Now there's, I also want you guys to know how to get to, so we're going to go back to Scentsy Success. And then we're going to go to training up here. I know it's confusing. Like, why would you go there and then go instead of just going straight to training? Right now they're working on it, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware how to get there. So you're going to go to training, and it's going to give you this list of different areas. So obviously, like your new people, you want to make sure they know how to get to there and get to the new consultant trainings. FAQs is so important for you to know how to get to. I always tell everybody you should print out all your FAQs and make it like your Scentsy Bible, just so you can refer to all whenever you need to. Now, browse by topic, okay? This breaks down every single area of your business, okay? Now, we just did a training program, and it featured all the areas of the business, and we broke it down by selling, sponsoring, I don't remember, just business tools, things like that. I can't remember. It was the 6 skills of, it's right here. Sponsoring, booking, presenting, host coaching, prospecting, and follow-up was all right here. But if you go to sponsoring, it's going to give you all the tools that Sarah Walker was sharing. So sharing that, these are all additional trainings. So if you're kind of still hesitant of how you're going to like talk about it to somebody, this is sharing the opportunity worksheet. It kind of breaks down, and I don't know. Oh yeah. So it's, oh, this is what she was talking about. So this is actually in the training that Sarah was just doing about the bacon night. So who would you love to have on your team? Now, I'm big on be very specific. You know, what type of person do you want on your team? Do you want somebody that's a go-getter, that is very independent, a goal setter? Those are people that you want on your team. People that you have to pull teeth to get on their workstation to see what's going on in their own business. It's going to be work on your part, and it can end up being a little challenging. So be specific of what type of people you want on your team, and then put in, when you think of somebody specific, if it comes to your mind, like, wait a minute, my friend from college is totally that person, you can write their name down there. And even if you haven't talked to them since college, however old you are, maybe it was last year, maybe it was 20 years ago, that gives you the mindset of, oh, I need to start rebuilding that relationship. Not just go to Facebook and say, hi, you want to join my team? You need to start rekindling that relationship. How can Scentsy enrich their lives? Now, knowing their interests and their background is going to help you be able to really cater to their needs. Now, for instance, one of my frontline, her and I would talk on a personal level. We met with like a social thing with our we went to the same church, and we would have like breakfast every now and then. I was her consultant, and I would deliver her stuff, and we'd have breakfast. So I got to know her on a personal level, and she loves self-development. She told me about all these trainings she go to, about self-development, and she knew some of the people that, that have written books that I've been to their seminars or read their books. And so I was like, you would really love Scentsy, because it's like free personal development training that we have. And that's really what got her interested. And I talked to her about joining because she bought very frequently, but that wasn't what caught her. I had to learn more about her interests in order for me to cater to what values would add to her life. And it was the self-development. So that's like, if she hadn't already joined, I would put her name there, and I would put self-development. And then notes for follow-up, you could say, like, what did you learn about her that first time? Now, I'll share with you guys really fast. I'm going to unshare my screen. I'm going to put this up, but you can make this yourself if you want, but I didn't make it. It's just a perfect little checklist. These are people I call on my hit list, because they're all people that have either shown signs that they want to join but haven't yet. They buy enough, they've hosted for me, or they've just been so consistent with Scentsy all these years. It's like, why aren't you just buying from yourself by now? There's a little joke in Scentsy that I learned when I first started, is that if you have more than 8 warmers in your house, it's law to become a consultant. And it kind of it's a funny little thing. They're like, and they laugh about it when you say, like, that it's law to become a Scentsy consultant after you have 8 or more warmers in your house. And it's funny. So they'll be like, oh my gosh. But then it's kind of an icebreaker to start talking, like, well, why aren't you a consultant? And it makes them go like, oh, why am I not a consultant? And they probably never thought about it before, unless you've talked to them about it, right? So anyways, so join date. So this is a very recent one. So you see these little checks. This was just the last like few months or something. And so people that have joined, I don't know why I didn't put their join date, but I checked them off, and you should put their join date here. So then you can kind of keep track of who these people are and following up with them. So you kind of know what their stages are. Another thing that I have is I have a binder that I have if I met them like at an event, I have their drawing slip right here. So I know any notes that I took about them, I transfer onto here. And then if you could see, I have dates. And then every time I talk to them, I write down what I talked to them about. So I don't forget, because here's the thing, guys, if you're thinking about building your business and that's a part of your business, you're going to be having a lot of conversations, and it's going to be very hard for you to keep them straight. You're going to mix up, the redhead with the blonde daughter, with the glasses, with the tall husband. You're going to forget it as much as you think so. I mean, I used to have a memory like an elephant. My sisters used to laugh at me because I remembered everything. Not since I joined Scentsy, because there's so many people in my life that it's like my team members, my clients, my hosts, my prospects. You need to give yourself an opportunity to keep everything straight. And so before you contact them, you kind of read over, what was our conversation about last? Where were they at? A lot of people put like a number. They'll say like, this person's a 5 on basically whether they're warm or not, or cold on joining. And you can write your own notes of like what you may think is their issue that maybe they haven't admitted to yet. Maybe you're like, oh, I think she really thinks that because she's shy, she won't be successful. So what is your job is to, okay, maybe I need to make sure that I have some people that are generally shy on our next B.A.C.O.N. I need to tell Jess, hey, I have this shy prospect, and she thinks that if you're not outgoing, that she can't be a good Scentsy consultant. So then I can go, okay, well, I need to tell my story because I'm actually a shy person, funny enough. And then I need to make sure I have some other stories and other consultants on that can bear their testimonies about how they're not the most outgoing person in the world, but they have a successful business. So we work together. So, and then they see that it's not just going to be you that's supporting them. They have me, they have these other team members, and like, it doesn't benefit the consultant on your sideline to help you grow your team, right? It doesn't benefit them. And then it's going to make the prospects go, oh, wow, they really do support each other. Like, it's not about making money necessarily only. So those people that aren't about money are going to be more intrigued. But then we do have to make sure that we throw in the logic of the opportunity of how much they can actually make if they wanted that. Man, Nadia, I went through and Amanda, I went through and asked everybody, were you guys able to watch the B.A.C.O.N. videos before tonight? I can see you, Nadia. So you didn't, not really?
Let me just unmute. Yeah. No, so I did, but I was like multitasking, but I did, I didn't hear what B.A.C.O.N. was for, but I understood the whole gist of having the night where you are answering questions and making it kind of like authentically about why you joined, and, just kind of getting people that you would love to have on your team, giving them this like open forum to just find out more without any obligation, and it kind of being a group thing and getting face to face. There were a lot of good points.
Awesome.
I had never thought of doing that, so that was kind of cool.
So it's funny because I used to do that every month, and then I haven't done it. Well, I did a couple in the last couple of years, but usually it's a very important part of our business that we have to have available. And I realized as I was adding things back into my business that I cut out the past 4 years, I'm like, wait a minute, that is a very important part, because a lot of the times my team members would recruit from that, but otherwise they didn't. Like, that was how they felt comfortable recruiting, because they'd be like, okay, listen to this, and they get more because they didn't know what they were doing, or they thought they didn't know what they're doing. So they leaned on the fact that there's like, I would have like a PowerPoint and things like that for people to kind of, if they're visual learners, I have that. And then you're right. And so depending on who's on the call, I'm going to make sure I ask who's going to be bringing people. And so I know, and I'm going to encourage, it's not required, but encourage if you are sending somebody to the call, to try to be on with them because they feel a little bit more comfortable because they know you. And then I can have you share, like Nadia, if you brought somebody, I'd say, Nadia, can you share a small little snippet of what your why is and why you joined Scentsy? And if it's changed, can you share like how Scentsy's added value to your life? And you may be inspiring somebody else on another person's prospect, and it may not connect with your person, but then maybe the other consultant story connects with your person. And so we are all kind of helping each other and giving that big family orientation of like, okay, we all help each other. And I always encourage, in case you guys are scared, because I've had people come to me and say, well, Jess, what if they like that person and they want to join under them? So what I always do is I disclose, like if your person has invited you, you will connect with them and they will help you get started if this is the time that you want to join. So I always try to make sure that that is clear, that like, it's kind of like a disclaimer so people don't think that we kind of already like nip it in the butt in the beginning of the B.A.C.O.N night, that whoever, sent you here is who you're going to contact to get started, so they don't go like, oh, I want to be under that person's team, or, because that can get ugly. Amanda, have you, were you able to watch this training?
Myself. Oh, am I unmuted?
Hi, yeah.
Hi. Bits and pieces.
Okay.
So same. So bits and pieces, but I'm working on like my story because Scentsy has been such a blessing. I just need to focus my storytelling to get more of those people. So that's kind of where I am. I'm working on that.
Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah. Like I loved, was it Reunion or World Tour? I don't remember. The lady that did the
last
storytelling. It was World Tour, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
the last
oh my
one.
gosh. If people realize that stories are everything in this business, everything. I mean, a story of what the product is about and how it touches people. And I used to, like in my presentations, I connect stories to every product. I connect stories to, I share a story of how I met my hostess and, just you need people to basically take off the consultant mark on your head and that you're a person. So it's important for us to share like, hi, I'm a mom and, this is what I do for a living. And, if you have something like, what you do, just so they can kind of realize that you're just like them and you make mistakes. You don't know what you're doing sometimes, whatever. So they feel like, okay, if she could do this, I could do this. And so, because we don't ever want people to look at us and go, oh, I can't do that. That's totally not me.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I can't wait to hear your story once you get everything together. That's going to be exciting.
I'm working on it, but no, you're so right. And that's one thing I've been trying to encourage because I've been talking to 3 people that are on my list.
Awesome.
I'm trying and their big thing is, well, I don't want to go live because I can't go live like you do. I'm like, but you're not me. So of course you're not.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna tell your story.
Good answer.
Of course. Like you can't, like you're gonna be authentically you, and that's what's gonna, you know what I mean? That's what's gonna draw people. You just have to, be you.
I
so
love
that was like their holdback.
That's awesome.
And then I was able, so on Friday, I encouraged one of them that's like, I never want to go live. I go, well, do you want to go live with me? And she's like, yeah. So her and I did a bingo together.
Oh, that's awesome. That is great.
It was good.
What I've done before, you just did exactly what is so important. You just made me realize that whenever I had potentials that were like hesitant, I would bring them to parties with me and they would just sit. I'm like, you can be the fly on the wall. If you want to participate, you can, or you literally can just sit there and observe and listen to the questions people give or how I handle it. It's basically whenever people struggle and I reach out to them and they're like, I'm just not getting this. It's because they feel like they just have no lifeline. And it's like the sponsor, which is fine because some people join and they don't want anything to do with leadership, but people join their team. So, but then they feel like, okay, well, my sponsor really doesn't do this as a business, but I want this as a business, but I don't have anybody to learn from. So reaching out deep, like your team members, when they start to sponsor, inviting them to watch like your lives, or like you said, you can have them join in with you or whatever. It really makes them feel like you're their security blanket, that they don't have to know it all right now. Like your sponsor, Michelle Brooks. I was at her launch party, but that chick, she had everything. I was like, man, I could just sit back and put my feet up and watch. She was so ready, but a lot of people aren't like that. So a lot of times when I go, I'm doing a lot of the training and like talking to kind of, so they can watch me and share the things I share. And so they can kind of take notes. And, but not everybody's going to be the like preparer like Michelle was. So that was like a big surprise to me. But most of them, they generally want you there so that they don't feel like they're like, what if they ask a question and I don't know what to say? That's usually one of their biggest fears. And because they think they don't know enough, because they see you and they see you going live and they're like, she knows her stuff. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But so by inviting, that is awesome. I'm so glad you did that. I'm sure that made her go like, okay, I can do this now.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then so someone who joined my game watched it and she's like, well, I want to play, like do a bingo game. I'm like, awesome. And then she's thinking about Scentsy. I'm like, do you want to host like I did with her? She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, so
awesome.
It worked. And she's so cute. She kept shying away and I kept like reeling her in. Like, nope. But it went really well. We did the scent tester bingo. I don't know if you guys have done that.
I haven't. Tell us.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy. So you take all your testers, and I put them in a bag so we couldn't see them. Okay. And I told my VIPs, of course, you experiment with your VIPs. I'm like, if you want to join, let me know. And then I put them in a separate group. So they had to pick 5 of our current scents that I had testers for.
Okay.
And then I would call the tester. So I'd pull out the tester and be like, you know, Go Mango. Oh, this one just came back. This is one of my favorite scents. And I'd kind of chat about it. And then that was like their bingo card was the 5 scents that they picked.
Yes, that's so clever. That's fun too. I love that.
It was fun. And then my new person got to learn the scents and I had a bunch of products out. So if so we could like grab a product and be like, oh, Go Mango is also in a room spray. And I love that room spray. It's one of my favorites. So we were grabbing products and talking about products and talking about the scents. And it was really fun. And then of course, like it was just it was like a mock party, but because they heard about the different scents, I got sales from it. I'm like, did you notice that? I didn't ask for sales.
I love that. It's all stories and it's just sharing. You were literally just sharing and educating. I love that.
And what I had from around my house that I love. So I just pulled products that I like, that I use, and we just talked about it. And it was really, and then there was 3 bingo winners. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, that sounds fun. I want to do that now. That's super cool.
It wasn't my idea. I don't remember. Someone shared it. I don't remember where. Yeah, so not my idea, but it was really fun. So that's my little 2 cents.
You just brought up something that, because we were talking about in the beginning about how we really need people to know that our culture is very different from other, because a lot of people are like, oh, I've done direct sales, I'm not good at it. And it's usually the culture is not their thing. And so when they come to Scentsy, they're always like, it is so different from any direct sales I've ever been, because like you just said, you learned this from some other consultant. We share, like we give all that, like we want to help everybody be successful, not just the person that is on your team or on your whatever. It's literally like we thrive by helping other people. And that's where the core value of generosity comes from. And it's our core values are literally teaching like the lifeline to life of happiness is generosity, authenticity, being, like you said, you be you. You don't need to be Amanda because there's already an Amanda, right? And then simplicity, keeping it simple. Because I think this is at least for me, whenever I struggle in Scentsy, it's because I'm making it too complicated. I always have to go, okay, I need to go back to the basics. How did I do this when I first started? It was very simple because I didn't know any other way. And it's when we start to get way too complicated, when things start to kind of go like, I don't know what to do. So I always tell everybody, whenever you struggle, whether you're brand new or you're seasoned and you're starting to kind of get a funk, ask yourself, am I being generous by running my business? Like, am I literally helping others? Am I service is a value for human needs. If we're not serving other people, we start to struggle. And then generosity, generosity is the service. And then authenticity, it's when we're starting to compare ourselves to everybody else. Oh, well, she joined when I did, and she's so much further. Oh, she's so creative. I can't do that. That's when we start to struggle. Instead of just saying, Jess isn't creative, so Jess takes all the things that everybody else wants to share and I just utilize it. And then simplicity, like I said, like if we start to make things just so complicated that we can't duplicate it over and over again, and then we're making our team members go, oh, I don't know if I have the time to do that, right? Because we want to be duplicatable. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to grow our team. So wow, this turned out to be I'm so glad that you guys all shared little bits and pieces of what you got from it. But some of you came on late. I just want to make sure you know I'm starting a B.A.C.O.N monthly Zoom for our entire group. So if you don't want to do one yourself, or you don't have time to do one in a month or whatever, you can just send your people and say, you know, our group is doing it. I encourage you to try to be on with your person, because that can kind of be a little scary. They might be like, ooh, I don't know who these people are. And they may feel like pressured to like, well, are they going to make me join? So you could kind of say, no, I'm going to be with you. This is no pressure. This is just education. You could decide it's not for you, but the only way we're going to know if it's not for you is if you get your questions and concerns answered. And so I will be sending out an email invite of when that's going to be. It's going to be on the same day of the month every month. I just haven't figured that date out yet. And then of course, if you are on live, I'm going to hopefully, if you have time, if you're willing, I'd love for you to share your story, a little bit about, you know, why you joined, how it's added value to you. Because I was saying earlier that like your story, Amanda, may inspire somebody else's person, and then the person can inspire your person, and you know what I mean? So they just know that even though you don't really technically mesh with your person, they can still join. Like I have some front lines that we have nothing in common at all, nothing. The only thing we have in common is Scentsy. And so they get more inspired by other people, and that's totally fine. You know, as long as they find someone that inspires them, that's, and they know that they can come to me if they need it, then that's the main goal of the business of sponsoring. So, okay. I went about 6 minutes over. I'm so grateful for you guys. So if you haven't watched the Bacon Taco Night, that's another one. The Become a Consultant Opportunity Night training. Nadia, you're laughing at me. Go back and watch it. But yes, the tools are in your workstation. Really fast, I'll share it again. So this one, you know, you can print this out. It says like how and where will you meet new people. So if you're not sure how you're going to meet people, just by asking yourself this question, it's going to start you thinking, well, where can I meet people? And if you're starting to tell yourself like, oh, well, because of COVID, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this, it's going to be very likely you're not going to find people, because you're telling yourself what you can't do. So instead, think about what you do anyways, that, you know, you have to go grocery shopping eventually, right? You need food. You got to go to the bank or the gas station or whatever. How can I meet people in that manner? And if you seriously have no idea, that's when you need to get with your sponsor or upline and say, look, I want to meet people, but I'm not seeing where I can do that. Because I'm going to be honest, COVID makes it a little different, a little bit harder, but at least you can put your head together with somebody and they can kind of give you some ideas or share how they're meeting people. Build your message, reflect on the key benefits of running your own business, flexibility, extra income, travel, what's happening this month that might appeal to prospective team members. Check the news tab for the happening of this month. So that is just basically, it's so important. If you're going to be a business builder, you're going to grow a team intentionally, you got to be in tune with what's going on with Scentsy. I'm not saying, you know, there's going to be moments like I'm in the middle of selling my house and buying a house. There's a lot of things that I'm not as connected on a regular basis like I normally am. I kind of pop in when I can. But in general, you've got to make sure that that's a part of your business and your day, is knowing what's going on. Okay. And then knowing how is Scentsy flexible? If somebody asks you, do you have an answer for that? How are you going to make extra money? Do you have an answer for that? Travel, what are those opportunities? So if you don't know what those opportunities are or how to explain them, then that's when you need some coaching with your upline to be able to share those ways to share it with people. And then says, reflect a positive thing happening in your business. For example, what have you accomplished lately? So don't be afraid to be happy and share that you just got a promotion, or, you know, you, I don't know, earned something, or you hit a goal that you never thought you were going to hit. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. People need to know that the person they know is getting things out of Scentsy. Scentsy's adding value to your life, so then they know it's a possibility that it can add value to theirs. Oh, and who has inspired you recently? So if you saw like a trainer or I don't know, read a book or something, and Scentsy's the one that turned you on to it, or you got it from, you know, some random person you saw training that you're like, this chick is awesome, I'm so inspired by her. Share that. Say, you know, I was just inspired by somebody. They're not even in my team. They're not my upline. They're not my downline. They're not my sideline. They're just in Scentsy, and they share their tools. And it's so neat that you really get free experience and training from people that have no connection to you. They're not doing it because they're making money off you. And then if you feel like, I mean, I hope you guys don't think I do this to make money off you. Like that's my main goal. It's not even a thought in my brain. It's just, to me, how are you supposed to be successful if I'm not sharing tools with you guys? That's the way I look at it. And then this was pretty, put it all together. Now that you've brainstormed your join message, reflect on the following questions. What will you say about why people should join this month? What will you say about your personal experiences? What will you say about the key benefits of running a Scentsy business? So you can kind of brainstorm here, which is awesome. I mean, I wish they had this type of a breakdown when I started Scentsy. Like I had to figure all that out and on my own to actually know what I was presenting and what I was saying. And so now they literally have a breakdown of how to get your spiel, basically, like, how am I going to present this and who am I going to present it to? Let's see. We'll go back to the sponsoring, and you'll see that there's, if you just literally scroll through here, you'll see all kinds of PDFs as far as conversation tips, sharing your opportunity, extend the invitation. These are all trainings that you should be diving into, because there might be one nugget that you haven't heard before, and that it all of a sudden clicks that light on for you to go like, oh my gosh, I have never done that, or that's something I so should be saying, or whatever. And so if you dive in enough and you really utilize all this training, you're going to feel more confident, because when you feel like you're not, the only reason why you aren't confident in your business is when you feel like, when you don't have enough education. That's just from experience. Whenever I struggle, it's because I haven't learned about it. And so we have to put that time in to really, you know, get the ins and outs and learn from all these trainings that are these people have made, the companies made. And then just make sure that you, once you do start to recruit, that you take advantage of these trainings that they have for sponsors, of like how you should be getting them on board and all that fun stuff. Yeah, party flipping, that's another technique, utilizing the host exclusive kit, things like that. If you don't know that how to use it, it's just a benefit, it's not a tool for you. So you really make sure you're using the tools that are available that Scentsy's giving us. All right, with that being said, does anybody have anything to add or question or concern or anything before we say goodbye today? Because I got like 2 minutes left before I have to start another call.
No, just thank you. Glad that
Aw.
you're good, that you'll be doing that for everyone. That kind of makes it nicer. And then when there's more people together, I think it'll be better. People hear other questions that they might not have heard of. So it'd just be better than if it's, you know, us and one other person, you know, if it's all of us, it's good. It'll be good.
And you'll learn so many different stories that you'll be able to connect with people. Like when you start to talk to somebody, their personality comes out and you'll be like, oh, this person's story is I should share that with this person because it's going to connect. So the more stories you know, the more powerful you will feel, which is awesome. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next Monday. Don't forget about the Tuesday call tomorrow, which is going to be talked about next Monday. Even if you listen to it right before our call, that's fine. That's what I do. And we'll see you next time. And then if you're a leader, we're jumping on our leadership call right now. Bye, guys.